Hey, welcome back to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. You guys, you're awesome, you know that. I have a fantastic game to show you. That last video I did, an hour and 20 minutes, man, and I only had one person complain that I talk too much. Wow. My wife laughed like crazy. She said, I can't imagine anyone wants to watch a video where you're just screaming at the camera for an hour and a half like that. And I've almost had 1,000 views in just the last couple days, so thank you for watching. I hope you're getting something out of my videos. I have gotten so cotton-picking fat because of this COVID-19 stay-at-home, no social, you got to social distance and don't go to stores and all. So you are dealing with the fat and sassy Backyard Professor Chess videos. Yeah, baby. Gives me a goal for this summer to lose some weight. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is from my dear and good friend in the Backyard Professor Chess Club, Phoenix 714. Phoenix is playing the black pieces, and we're going to do an advanced French. Now, Phoenix is one of those that can play anybody and give them a game. Usually give them the loss. So this is wonderful. When I played through this, I was astonished at how well he played this. So let's see how this goes. E4 and E6. He's going to play the French opening, so he immediately blundered. Sorry. Hey, I promised him I wouldn't criticize him, and then I stopped and thought about it, and I said, dude, the inferior does not criticize the superior, man. I have no room to criticize you. Relax, I'm going to play this game and show off your skill and your verve and your talent, yes! Okay, typical French, yes? Say yes, please. Now, his opponent, and this is an option, and observe Phoenix's response, C5. Yeah. If he's going to close the center off, now, again, the advantage is he does get more space. He closes the center, so you immediately push for more space on one of the wings. It's logical, since your pawns are going that way, to push for more space here, right? So far everything is just, this is typical, beautiful, wonderful French opening. Develop your knight here. He'll bring his knight out to F3 and then bishop D7. So speedy development, even though the center's closed. And remember, in this instance, you don't have to speedily develop, but let's watch Phoenix teach us how. This is awesome how he does this. Now, A3, okay, it does serve a function. Watch Phoenix go for it here. And I know that dreadful F6, don't move the F-pawn. No, Phoenix plays a better game because he went to F6. He's going to immediately change the dynamics of the closed center. Now, that doesn't mean he's opening it up. And you go, really, dude? Yeah, we'll watch. Just watch. But it does mean he'll change the dynamics. And I thought this was very interesting how he did this. And now, observe, again, the center's closed, but observe all of the pawn moves. And with the center closed, we're not in a crisis. It really is important to have your pawns as strong as you can also, right? So don't think to yourself, well, these guys don't know what they're doing because they're doing too many pawn moves. That's not true. They're setting up the situation so that they can go full bore without worrying about the pawn structure after this, more or less. Phoenix immediately takes advantage of it. He says, okay, let's change the dynamic here. Let's take a look. And of course, he's going to respond. Now, it's different. You can kind of see how that's a little bit different. So neither player necessarily has an advantage in the center, and yet there's been some changes. Watch how these changes affect this game. I really thought this was interesting. Queen c7, so, I mean, sincerely, you know, you can see he's going to queenside castle all the way. He's prepared for it. He's ready for it. He's going to queenside castle. He's not going to take any more time to get the kingside developed. He wants to castle queenside. I mean, you can see that obviously. The advantage of castling queenside in the French will be seen here. It's very interesting. Let's keep going. And now bishop f4. Now, bishop f4, and you ask, all right, the pawn is locked. Now this is white's bad bishop, but the pawn is locked, and so why would you put it to f4? This also influences how they play. I mean, I know it's not a direct attack on the queen, but the bishop across from the queen, and at this point the pawns are locked. But you just, whenever you see your opponent place a piece across from either your queen or your king, you need a little red light in the back of your head, a little blip blip. Just be aware so that you don't get caught flat-footed. Right? Okay, so let's keep going. I mean, it's not major. He developed a piece, which is good. It's in the center, which is good. It's useless. No, not yet. You can't go that way. Let's just watch. Let's just watch. It is not useless. Knight h6. Now the other bishop's coming in. Bishop d3. The development is really good. And now, this was a nifty move that Phoenix did. So the question is this for us. Phoenix, in lieu of two developing moves of his opponent, ended up here. What does that do? Why would he take two moves to move that knight instead of bring his bishop out so that he could at least have the option to close? Observe where this knight is touching. He is attacking the e5. The one where the the bishop is across from the queen, but he is putting pressure. Now that's 1, 2, 3 pieces on a major pawn in this game. So you can see his earlier just direct, straight up and exchange has changed the dynamic of the center, which has changed the dynamic of the game. They're both bringing it all out really well. Nice to see. I want to make an extra note of that because of the role this little fella plays right. This is a little fella. No, he's not a knight. He's a good little fella. He's a good horsey. Yeah, shut up and play the game, dude. Queen e2. Once again, nothing monkeying around. They're going like crazy. And now, so he's been doing stuff over here, and now all of a sudden he pushes the pawn to close the center. Why would you do that? Of course, the bishop's going to come back, yeah. But why would you do that? Because he wants to castle. Before he castles, he wanted to close the center. He said that in his notes to his game. And I thought, ooh, okay. And he does proceed to castle, queenside, And now look at his opponent. His opponent is also preparing to castle queenside in the French Open, right? Might be the, and now look. They basically played the center really well. And now he has come onto this wing and closed it. And now he's hopping over to this wing and advancing. He's playing the entire board with as many pieces and pawns as he can. That was one of Alexander Alekin's favorite techniques to do. So this is a real interesting development. The other thing, before I forget, I didn't write it down and I told myself I'd remember. I almost didn't. Phoenix is hoping, in a way, that his opponent would take the wing. Look, he's castled queenside, so he doesn't have to keep these pawns together. Take the pawn, and then Phoenix would have the central pawn. That's what he was hoping. Although, yeah, give him a wing pawn, take the central pawn. As it did, it did not work out that way. His opponent backed the bishop up. Now, you've begun playing this side. Pawn storm, keep going, why not? And I know, again, the direction you see your pawns point is the wing that you want to play on. So if you've asked the question, what is he doing, like I did, because it's glaringly obvious. I studied enough Jeremy Silman hard enough to barely get past page 1 of his first book. Yeah, I'm joking, just calm down. You can see where the pawns are pointing, and yet he really seems to be paying attention over here. Don't get excited. Just observe how Phoenix does this. I really liked this. Really, truly. And of course, he has announced I'm coming, so at least somewhat prepare, and he keeps right on trucking. Okay, you're focused. Phoenix says in his notes that, and he told me in a personal message, I'm not so much into memorizing openings, etc. When you have a game plan, that's what the overall important thing to keep in mind. Don't get persuaded or distracted and lose the thread of your game plan. And this is part of his game plan. Even though he should be over there, that is his game plan, to be over here. So let's just keep watching it unfold as he goes along. I thought this was extremely interesting. And now there was a miscalculation that happened. The H-pawn went ahead and took the G. And the H-pawn went ahead and took the G. And you go, uh-oh, wait a minute, there's a file there. There's rook on rook. Uh-oh, rook takes the rook. Has Phoenix made a mistake? Retake the rook. You're a rook down. Whoa. Wait. Take a look at the board. Phoenix has very cleverly played this side. Real powerfully. There is a way to get the rook, but not this move. You don't want to immediately retake. Do you see it? I thought Phoenix played this really well. One of the things I asked him for permission to play his game for my YouTube audience, because this is so good. Looky here. He can force his opponent to pay attention here. You notice he took a knight. Yeah. Well, knight responded. But for a for a rook, he got a knight and a rook. Very nice. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Phoenix is a piece up. Very good tactic there that I wanted to really kind of emphasize so that we could see me. I mean me, right? When I say we sometimes get really kind of focused and excited on, okay, I go there, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take. But Phoenix was adroit enough to recognize he takes, I can take, but let me retake up, excuse me, there first and gain a piece. It's easy to say, keep your eye open for tactics, right? Great tactic there. Very nice. It's another thing to practice it. After this, his opponent does queenside castle. Okay, so we've got a queenside castle. Bring out his piece. And yeah, his knight's badly placed here, but Phoenix is the type of player. He's like Alec, he's not going to leave any piece bad, so it's okay. I know he moved the knight's there, and he's not doing a lot right now, but coming up here and going check develops a piece that slices all the way across that board. So it makes sense that it's okay in this setup to leave your knight on the weakest square it can possibly inhabit for a move, or possibly to get that kind of sweet power. That's nice. Observe that Phoenix's white bishop, his bad bishop, is not doing squat. I mean, that's the effect of the French Open. You have a bad bishop. He's not sweating it. He's getting as strong as he can, and he will correct his bad bishop problem. Which should always be, that's one of the many imbalances, I think it's one of the top, 8 in the minor game war, the war between the minor pieces in Silman, where he says, you always want to pay attention to bad bishops. Just relax. This is a great move. Check. And of course, the king goes to b2. Out of check. And now, bring your queen up to b6. You're saying, I'm telling you, it's all good. It's all good. He knows what he's doing. The focus in his entire game, all of this time, and he's played the center, and then he did come over here and close the center, and then he came back over here and had some spectacular tactics that has gained him a piece, and now again he has not lost his idea of attacking on that king side, the castle queen side. Okay? So just realize that. Good stuff coming up. Bishop h4. You may as well hit the rook, why not? Rook comes to g8. g3 will take care of any rook shenanigans up this way. It will also give good support for the bishop, who also slices toward the king, but it's not the same. And it's real interesting because Phoenix has such a lousy piece right here right now, but the dynamic here is still not the same. Phoenix is in a better position because he has a piece up, right? And he's taking advantage of it. How he does that is one of the coolest cotton-picking things I have ever seen in a chess game. And now here we go. Now he brings the knight out. So it wasn't for just 3 plays or so. And in the meantime, he has been steadily improving his position for that side of the board. So it has not been an error to leave that piece on the bad square. For a few moves, he's not just willy-nilly moving. He is producing his game plan. Put the pieces on their optimal squares in their optimal places on whatever side of the board your game plan is. That is what we've seen him doing. Very nice. Rook h1. Now, I mean, seriously, the center really is solid closed. So grab the open file. That's as good as you can place your rook if you're the opponent, right? So that's not a bad move there. Don't begrudge him that. Bishop g7. This diagonal, true, it's closed off. They're blockaded. The knight is guarding it. But this diagonal might prove to be a better diagonal. Let's keep watching. What's that tell you his opponent thought? That tells you his opponent thought, yeah. I am not. The knight is hitting it, the knight is hitting it, and the bishop. He said, yeah, this bishop is far stronger there than it was there, and he's going to swap the bishop. It is Phoenix's good bishop. That's not a crisis, because once again of how it changes the dynamic of the center. And this is kind of something as you play through your games you want to observe. The dynamic exchange here is really good. Bishop will take, yes, and E will take f6, and now we have a really good passed pawn. Phoenix has to keep his heads up on this. Yeah, look what he does. A5, he keeps his heads up all right. He has done what he can here, so he moves over to his game plan to go crack open the king side. Now, observe this. The only one with an open file is the white, and I have said never just give him an open file. Again, context is really important. So he has an open file, so he didn't just immediately challenge his open file. Why not? There is nothing over here of importance for white to gain by all of a sudden shifting everything over to this side. So, yes, he has the file. It's just not as important. Now, every file is important. I'm not trying to minimize that. But way over here, when everything is both over here, that file, I never thought I'd ever say this, but that file is not worth fighting over. Let's just watch. Let's just watch now that I have committed blasphemy against the chess open file. Now I haven't. Calm down. Relax, man. Okay, where'd you go, Rook? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Okay, he went to A5. Wait. Now he went to A5, and he goes to Rook H7. True, he's coordinated with his bishop and his rook, but that doesn't matter, because there's really not a lot over here to attack. Phoenix has it all covered. Notice how beautifully, even though, and I mean, this pawn does cramp him, truly, and he really doesn't have a lot of space here. He does have his pieces coordinated beautifully, because there's only a one-piece attack down here. He's guarded by the bishop from way back here, yes, but he's not making a total attempt to come into here and try to win the game on the queen side. In other words, I'm kind of thinking white doesn't have, I shouldn't say white doesn't have a game plan. We don't know that. But if his game plan is in existence, he needs to rewrite it. He needs to revamp it because you're not going to get a lot done on that queen side. Right? You can see that. So let's keep watching. Rook goes to g7. Now Phoenix, of course, cannot exchange the rook. Just because a piece challenges a piece does not mean you must exchange, because he really can't exchange it. You can see the power of the passed pawn. Phoenix says, nope, I'm going to shut it down right here. Well, he does appear that he's going to try to come on this queen side because of this passed pawn. So that's the game plan. That's the best thing White has going for him. Now, and just a moment ago, I know you're saying, yeah, you moron, you just contradicted yourself. Hold on. Just a moment ago, it didn't look like he was getting on the queen side. Now he's coming full bore to convert that pawn. That's a decent plan. The pawn is what makes him come to the queen side. Watch how Phoenix takes care of this. I'm emphasizing this because Phoenix teaches us a very powerful chess lesson. Now that the rook has backed down, and temporarily at least he's got things covered, but this passed pawn is so close, now all of a sudden we've got a rook, we've got a bishop that can come into here real quick, and we've got a knight that's going to come into here real quick. All of a sudden, Phoenix has to take care of this. Right? No. Again, it takes nerves of steel, and I don't have those. Phoenix has a game plan. If you allow your opponent to sway you to do his game plan, then you don't have the initiative. So does Phoenix allow himself to be distracted to lose his game plan? No. He does stop what's happening for a move. And that's all you need, is just for one move. So, back over to here and get your game plan going. You must break open that king side. He did just enough here to avoid letting him have his pawn in. But he did not all of a sudden start swinging his queen down into here attacking that pawn. He could easily have brought his queen and attacked that pawn. Phoenix did not do that. The queen wants the king. That pawn's not going in yet. So why be distracted by it? Keep going on your game plan. This is one of the really, truly good things about this game I wanted to show this game for, is because he did not get distracted from his game plan. Okay, so you're beginning to break the king side open. However, you dork, you closed off stuff, so shoot. Game over. You're going to have to go back over here after all because your game plan fizzled, right? No, not if you're Phoenix. This is why I love looking at his stuff. Him and Odoker and Juzerneem and Flame Master and Akkermansia and all of these guys in our club. They are so good and they show us so much cool chess and great ideas that they're teaching you. Don't freak out. There is a way to get this. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're a piece up. If he can get down here, and he's not very far from it, then you've really got trouble. So it's close. But he's not there yet. But if you start deciding, hold on, now I can put a stop to this nonsense. Can you, though? Would that have stopped anything? No. So, what's the lesson here? The lesson here is this is a passive move. And again, in the advanced chess, we learn to not play passively. We learn to play aggressively. Phoenix does this magnificently. Just open up the cotton-picking king side. White must pay attention. He must respond to Phoenix. Phoenix is not in a position to where he must start responding to his opponent. No. He was real close, but real close isn't there. Instead, pursue your initiative and game plan and win. Because you did not change back and forth trying to take care of things. You don't have to worry about this. There's your objective. Phoenix does this perfect. It's been a long time since I've seen a game played so well along that line of do not get distracted by what your opponent is doing. And he does have threats, but doesn't mean you have to pay attention to him. Right? Now look at the difference. Check. Now, who's in charge? He did have an extra piece to sacrifice. But even if he hadn't had an extra piece to sacrifice, sacrificing a piece anyway to open up the opponent's king is the key. Not moving back and forth, trying to decide which is more important, that or this. This is not more important than that. So he pursued that. And I know I'm talking too much, and I apologize. Tough luck, live with it. It's my video. I know, shut up and show us the game. No, this is wonderful how he does this. King C1. Now, at this point, I stopped playing the game, and I asked myself, okay, what would I do now as black? What would I want to do? I mean, there's a lot of options here. There really is a lot of options here. But Phoenix showed me how to do this through his game. I wasn't thinking of this one. That continues to give Phoenix the initiative, and his opponent must pay attention. Just that little pawn bone. Now you're beginning to see things really, really strong, aren't you? Well, what was that you were saying about initiative? Yeah, not to fear. Phoenix still has it. That is a great counter play, however, I must confess. But that is a great response. So the move looks good. And in fact, his response, he's eliminated the central pawns, and haven't I always touted the concept that if you can even attack in the center and dominate the center in all phases of the game, you win the game. And look, White is dominating the center, and he's winning the game. He very well may be, but notice how Phoenix does not wig out and lose it here. Watch what Phoenix does. He keeps right on marching toward that king. Check. Fantastic. No kidding. So the king comes over, of course. And he keeps right on marching at that king. His center's been obliterated. Does he freak out and decide, I've got to get everything back? No, he is continuing his game plan. So now the king comes to E2. Observe whose open file is more valuable now. This file or this one? Check. And it's real interesting that every piece here gets to play a role, even though they're all bunched right down here holding off that pawn. They still help checkmate the king. That is one of the coolest things I have ever seen in a chess game. And that is another feature that I wanted to show this game for, is to show you, take heart and take to heart when your chess instructor or a good chess book from a good chess master or international master, I'm thinking Jeremy Silman, I'm thinking Artur Yusupov, I'm thinking the games of Bobby Fischer and Alexander Alekin and Emmanuel Lasker and Jose Capa. I mean, you can name every world champion because they play this way. But keep in mind that you don't have to get your piece next to the king in order for it to be effective. Look how he is controlling where that king's going to go. At the same time, not freaking out about that. You'll notice this pawn hasn't made much progress for the last 3 or 4 moves. See the dynamic. We want to know why white could not convert. It is because Phoenix steadfastly, systematically kept to his program of cracking open that king's side, even to the sacrificing of a knight, and get that king. He did not give white breathing room. Outstanding advanced chess. And we can all do this. I promise. I promise. Well, the bishop is now pinned. I just want to point that out. Another tactic. Very important. Now, of course, the bishop himself put himself into that pin. That's true. Just recognize now it's pinned. What do you do to a pinned piece? You attack it. Let's keep watching. Let's keep watching. Magnificent, man. Phoenix is not playing passively. He is not responding to his opponent. He is playing with initiative, which means he is producing threats either against the king or other pieces such that white has to react. Therefore, black maintains the initiative. That is what I want you to see. You look for moves to maintain the initiative and carry them out. That's fabulous. Okay, Queen F5 check, cowboy. It's not a big deal. King to B8. Now, F3, give your king a little bit more space because he realizes now that he has no attack left. Yes, he had a little bit of counterplay. True. Yes, he obliterated the central pawns of Phoenix. True. But he ran out of attack. Now it's Phoenix's turn. So he's trying to make sure he's got enough space to maneuver. Pass pawn. This is a pass pawn too. But notice the contrast of who has the power, pass pawn, and why. The reason Phoenix's past pawn is far more powerful is because he kept the initiative. Fabulous. Well, now he's in trouble. King e3, c1 queen, I'll put it that way. I don't have two queens, so king comes to f2, queen comes to g1 check, king goes to e2, and then d1 mate. So this game in an advanced French version, the two things that I want to share is, well, it's mainly one. Don't give up or forget your own game plan and start reacting to your opponent. Phoenix had reasons to do so, but he did not fall for that. And number two, maintain your game plan with the initiative, always finding threats. Phoenix's threats were stronger than his opponent's, and there's your end result. It doesn't get better than that, so I'm thrilled to bring this game to you. From one of our Backyard Professor Chess Club members and fans, and if you can, come and join us. We're on Leeches, backyardprofessorchessclub.com, I believe. Anyway, you can find us on Leeches easy enough. And there are some real outstanding instructions going on in our chess club right now. I'm thrilled with it. I'm just now getting back into it. It's been quite a while since I've even had the chance to play chess, so I'm rusty like crazy. I'm enjoying going through these members of the chess club games because they're just so rich with instruction. So there's your chess video. Thanks for watching. Remember, be good, do well, have fun, stay safe, be happy, spend lots of money. No, I'm kidding. Do not go out without a face mask. I don't care what the dip-nose in Washington, D.C. White House does. He is a moron. Wear the mask like Joe Biden did. Show some real good intelligence. Yeah, baby. Okay, I will see you guys in the next Backyard Professor Chess video.